Good morning. Who do people say you are? Take a trip with me to the northern border of Israel and you'll reach snow-capped Mount Hermon. Yes, you can snow ski in Israel. Mount Hermon is often referred to as simply the mountain. Banias is an ancient Hebrew city located at the base of the mountain. Spring water from Banias is part of the headwaters for the Jordan River and the Sea of Galilee, which lies to its south. Now you might think this would be a beautiful spot for ancient Jews to visit. You would be wrong. In the year 500 BC, the ancient Israelis had returned from captivity in Babylon, but they were returning to Israel, which was becoming a dying nation. The city of Banias in the north had taken on many characteristics of Greek culture, including pagan worship. Temples and sanctuaries were now built into the rock face of the base of Mount Hermon. Perverse sexual acts were taking place, including animals, which they claimed to be a religious activity. But it all paled in comparison to the sanctuary of Pan, where human sacrifice took place in the cave in the back of the sanctuary. Here people were thrown into a deep hole or a pit in the base of this cave, where they believed the gods of the underworld lived. They considered the cave, the deep hole, all of that to be the gateway to the underworld. They called this place the gates of hell. 200 years later, the Greek commander, the great general Alexander the Great, he swarmed in from the north to conquer the land, as did the Romans a couple hundred years after that. Banias, though, remained steep in pagan acts all through this time. The Jews who were now living in the land considered the mountainous area near Banias to be like a red light district to be avoided at any cost. It mattered little that Philip, the Herodian official who was there at the time, renamed it Caesarea Philippi in honor to Caesar. And of course, this is when Jesus Christ now enters our story. A crowd of disciples are following him. They're following his miracles. They're following his words of a kingdom. But 2,000 years before that, the ancient Jewish people had rejected God at a mountain in the Sinai desert. But now, walking with his disciples along the shores of the Galilee, Jesus turns his gaze north to the mountain, to Mount Hermon. And he begins that 25-mile walk from Galilee up to the mountain, along with his disciples that are in tow. Just imagine the horrors of the minds of these Jewish people as they approach this red light district. Well, what happens next is recorded for us in the Bible. Luke chapter 6 records these words. It was at this time that he went off to the mountain to pray, and he spent the whole night in prayer to God. And when day came, he called the disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also named apostles. Now those disciples who were present with Jesus at Banias would obviously be able to see all the people entering and leaving all these sanctuaries around them. They knew what took place in Banias. They knew powerful people frequented the place, and they knew that Banias had existed for many generations before they were even born. Jesus takes this moment to ask them two very important questions. The first one he says, by the way, and just to be sure that we knew where they were located, he reveals the names of the place as he speaks or as he asks the first question, in which we have it recorded for us in Matthew chapter 16. And he says, now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, right, he was asking his disciples, who do people say that the Son of Man is? And they reply that people think he's some resurrected Jewish hero from the past. But Jesus said to them, but what do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? Simon Peter answers, you are Christ, the Son of the living God. Now, unlike the fear the Jews had of God at Mount Sinai, these disciples, now standing amongst the pagan worshipers, saw the living God in Jesus Christ. They had no fear. And Jesus was laying down a challenge for them. He didn't want his followers to hide from evil. He wanted them to storm the very gates of hell. Jesus records this moment in history and says, "Blessed are you, Simon Peter, because flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. I also say to you that you are Peter. And upon this rock I'll build my church, and the gates of hell will not overpower it." Do you feel that even in today's times and place, that some people, or our governments, or a religious person or an organization maybe is like this place, Banias, steeped in terrible activities or beliefs that seem to be the gates of hell in your mind? Well, Jesus doesn't want you to hide from evil. He wants you to storm those gates of hell, just like his disciples did. His will is that you and I, his church of people, will endure, and the gates of hell will not overpower us. Now, in order to do this, we must come to a realization of who Jesus really is, just like Peter did. Now, did you pick up on the fact that Jesus says he recognized who Peter was? Peter knew who God said he was. And in that recognition, Peter walked into a new life, which became a supernatural journey for him. All this leads to this moment, right now, right here, right now. Who do people say you are? Who does God say you are? The answer to that question is the true you. Don't give in to the hell that threatens to overpower you. Turn instead to the knowledge that God is building his kingdom. He's trampling on the activity of hell, and he wants you to know who you are in him, to storm the gates and to bring his kingdom, and that you might become saints, apostles, and part of his kingdom from everlasting to everlasting. In the middle of the Banias activities that surround you and me, may you feel peace today, love and joy, my friends, secure in the knowledge that God has everything under control. Well, until next time, enjoy your day. It's a gift, my friends. Bye for now.